and Janusz. And good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for taking the time today to attend one of our end users webinars for our fall series. Today we'll touch on how you can use Instant JChem Suite to access your data live using any internet browser. The agenda of today's webinar is as follows. So we'll start with a brief overview of Instant JChem Suite, which starting with 6.0 has two components, Instant JChem Desktop, which I hope most of you are familiar with, and Instant JChem Server and Web Client. The webinar will follow with a live demo where you will see how you can create a simple relational project using Instant JChem Desktop, and then how you can deploy it using JChem Web Client. And we'll finish up the live demo with a short introduction of the Instant JChem integration with Spotfire, which is a third-party application to do a further in-depth analysis of your data. At the end, you will have a short question and answer session. So let's get started and look at the Instant JChem Suite. And as I said, starting with 6.0, we actually have two components. One, it's the well-known JChem Desktop, Instant JChem Desktop, and the other one is the new addition, which is Instant JChem Server and Web Client, which actually make the connection of your database from the Instant JChem Desktop to any web interface, so you can see your data live using any internet browser. So let's take a look and do a brief overview of all these two tools. So what's Instant JChem? And I hope most of you know already that Instant JChem, it's an out-of-the-box tool which is designed by scientists for scientists, allowing you to create, manage, and analyze chemical structure and their associated data. It serves as a desktop application which provides convenient and straightforward approach to analyze chemical and biological data. And it's a database-centric environment that basically supports you to query, to sort, to look at all these functionalities, to handle large volume of data and take faster decisions. On the other hand, the Instant JChem Server and Web Client, it's a new thin client solution which allows you to access your chemical databases via a web browser now. While it's keeping the same functionalities which you know from Instant JChem Desktop. It's very flexible and allows you to handle the data and present, report, and share your data. Basically, this new technology allows you to access your data from anywhere, anytime, in a more secure way. Let's quickly review some of the key strengths of the Instant JChem Desktop. So, as you know, it's very easy to deploy. It's simple to use. Can be deployed in a multi-user environment. It's fast and scalable. Allows you to easily create forms, tables, to make reports, to share your data. It's powerful search and chemistry functionalities, and also allows you to quickly import, export data, merge data, and so forth. And also it's very, very customizable, very easy to customize it the way you want to present your data, look at the data, take decisions, share it, and report it. A fundamental activity in Instant JChem, it's the creation of a database, which you'll see also in the live demo that basically you can create database in seconds, and you can connect multiple databases and can be opened very easily using Instant JChem. The databases will be local, but also you can use remote databases, and these are just a few ones which I will support. It's Derby, Oracle, and MySQL can be integrated. Besides just importing and export the data, also you can customize the data, define additional fields. You can connect the data together using relationships And not just structures are supported, but also you can bring in reactions, Markush queries, basically any type of structure you can think of. So as I said, important export capabilities are available, very flexible options to define how you can import files into the database, then how you can merge the files together so you can make sense of your data. And also export capabilities are very flexible using the wizard export function, which are embedded into Instant JChem. All kinds of files are supported, starting from well-known SD files, smiles, images, PDFs, and so forth. Even PDFs files can be supported. So due to an infrastructure technology, you can actually embed structures and extract structure from PDF files and import it into Instant JChem. Besides importing the data, you can also calculate and do predictions on the fly. Calculated or predicted properties can be easily integrated using chemical terms fields which are available. The values are automatically updated when you edit structures or modify the structure, or new structures are added. And we have a wide range of functions you can use and properties you can calculate. On this slide, you can see just a very minimum example, like usual molecular properties you can calculate, but we have many others. Few examples are just log P, pKa, hydrogen bond donor receptor, bioavailability, UPAC name, and so forth. And all these properties, after are calculated, can be used as filters and searches, and it can look other data and filter it. Instant JChem also allows you to use your chemical business rules due to Standardizer, which is embedded into Instant JChem. So basically, before you store the data in the database, you have the capability to control the way the structures are handled in your organization. How you represent the nitrogen group, for example, or the counter ions. If you want to bring the explicit hydrogen atoms, or how you handle tautomers. By default, the data which is imported into Instant JChem, it's displayed in the preview, which of course is chemical aware, and it's suitable for very large data sets. You can have multiple views, and you can open them and be visible in any way all the time. And also data in all these tables can be sorted, can be queried, can be formatted. But also you have the ability to display the data in the way you want it. So you can actually build form, you can custom form, and you can bring data from different tables. So you can make a relationship between the data and display it, so that will make sense for you and to analyze it quicker and fast and make reports and share it. All these forms can be easily built using the widgets which are available in Instant JChem, basic by dragging and dropping in the form view and make connection, bind data into it. And we'll take a look at that on the live demo. Besides just displaying the data on the form, also you have flexible options to basically set up how you want to display the data. For example, as you can see in this slide, for structures you have the flexibility to display the data in 2D or display data in 3D, so display the structures, the molecules in 2D or 3D. Or you can show the easy labels, for example, you can show the implicit hydrogen, you can display them, and so forth. So many options to display the data. Also, in the newer version, we added a dashboard into Instant JChem where basically when after the project is built and you enter the tool again, you can quickly scan the forms and you can quickly go into the form you wanted and look at your data. Also, you have the ability to add quick actions on this dash form, where basically if you have different actions which you do repeatedly, you can have it here in the quick actions and you can use them as well. Also, dashboard is very useful because we have direct links to documentation, to the new features which were added in the version you're using, and other useful links. Also, I'd like to point out that we even have a quick demo, a quick demonstration, a quick movie showing you how you can build a project and how you can utilize Instant JChem. So after the project is built and you have the data in, now you can start querying and filtering the data. And basically, you can build simple query, but also due to Query Builder, you can actually build more advanced query features. So complex queries can be rapidly executed, even if you have millions of structures you want to search on. And also you can add indexes, so you can improve the performance of the searches as well. And due to Query Builder, which is embedded in Instant JChem, you can actually build sophisticated queries, relational data, where you can add logic queries, so like you can include or exclude things. And also, due to chemical terms abilities, you can actually add expression and filter based on that. Besides the simple query and advanced queries, we have extensions like you can do overlap analysis, where you can compare one set versus another. For example, you can look if you have duplicates in the files, and you can remove them. Also, you can do federated search, where you can, for example, run structure across multiple structure tables in once. All the queries which you perform, you can save them, you can re-execute them, and of course that will save you a lot of time. So for example, when new data are added into the database and you want to re-query your list, you don't have to build the query again. You can reuse the query, and as I said, that saves you a lot of time. Also, you can easily save the list of compounds which you have, or the list data associated with the compounds, which you run the query as a list, and you can save them and you can restore them as well. The list and the queries can be copied and can be shared between the user easily, and also as a new feature, you can actually map now and pass the ownership of these queries and lists easily as well. Also, you can do list queries, so you can use logical queries, so you can do union, you can do insertions, exclusion, and so forth between lists. So basically, you can combine them and see the results. More sophisticated things you can do in Instant JChem. Quickly, I want to talk about Markush search and enumeration. Markush structures can be stored in Instant JChem from combinatorial libraries or patterns. You can perform structure searches, again, all these Markush structures, and also you can do enumeration, and full, random, and enumerate with context of query structures are supported. Also, in the newer version, we actually made Instant JChem more flexible and allowed to integrate third-party applications. So basically now you can integrate Spotfire, which probably most of you know that this is a more advanced visualization tool. And basically, the connection between Instant JChem and Spotfire allow you to have a two-way communication set between these two tools, which provide an active interface where you can process the data in Spotfire, produce some results, and then instantly you can send it back to IJC, and the data can be reused for further processing and analysis. And we'll touch on that. We'll see a live demonstration at the end of the webinar today. Very quickly about Instant JChem server and web client, what actually that new tools bring to the table and how it can help you look at your data more quickly and live, and without the hassle of having installed Instant JChem desktop on your machine. So basically, this new technology provides you a web interface to access the data, and basically you can connect to the data from any client computer which has a web browser. The architecture is very simple. It's a three-tier architecture where on the lower level you have the database server, and then in the middle tier you have the IJC server, which actually provides almost all the functionalities you have available in JChem desktop. And the last tier, the third tier, it's actually the IJC web client itself, which allows you to present the data on the web. So Instant JChem desktop and Instant JChem server and web client are compatible, and allows you to migrate all the views which you build into desktop application to the web browser, so you can do the same searches and queries and build a list of managements which are available in Instant JChem desktop. So quickly to recap, the key advantages and key features and advantages for having JChem server and web client, it's basically that it gives you easier and faster access to your database. It's lightweight, as minimal memory required, because basically you're not installing Instant JChem in your machine. You don't have to worry about securities and also about versioning problems. You'll have always using the same version which your colleagues are using, because you're actually accessing just one instance which is installed in your server. So this gives you a better usability. So the IJC schema created on the desktop can be used directly in your web client implementation, as I said. So that reduces a lot of IT overhead, as you can imagine, because you have one install and one access, and you'll access the same data which your colleagues are accessing at the same time. So with that, I would like to go in the live demo, and just to refresh the memory on the outline today, I will create a relational project, so you'll see how easy it's to create a project in Instant JChem desktop, and then we will deploy it in JChem web client. And then in the end, I would like to show a little bit of the IJC integration with Spotfire. So let's do that. So let's open Instant JChem desktop, and to build a chemical database in IJC, first you need to create a new project. So that will be very simple. You have to go to File, New Project, and we'll choose an IJC project with a local database. Basically, you need to follow the instructions on the screen, so we'll click Next. We'll name the project. In this case, let's name it Web Deployment. But of course, you can use a default name, or you can choose whatever name you want. And then let's click Finish. And as you see now, I have a workspace where I can start importing my data and manage it. So what I will do next, I will import some files, and I will bring some data in and create my database. So I'll right-click on my local schema, and I will click on Import File. and I will import this as MRV, so Marvin file with some structures in it. So I will open that, and then I will follow the steps on the screen, and I will click Next. What you see here on the left side of the panel are the fields which are available in the file, and on the other side, on the right side, you'll see the fields which will be imported in the database. By default, Instant JChem creates 3 new fields, which are compound ID, will calculate the molecular weight for your compounds, and also the molecular formula. So I will import all of this, so I'll click Next, and see that actually in a few seconds, more than 300 compounds, almost 400 compounds were imported in my local database. I'll click Finish, and right away I have the grid view I was describing in my slides, where I can look at my data which was imported. Next, I would like to add another file which has some activity data in it for the structures I just imported. So again, I will point to the file I want to import. I will click Next, and again I can see the fields which are available in the files and the fields which will be added in the database, and I'll click Next again. And you see that all the entries are added in actually in a few seconds. So now I have 2 files which are independent to each other, bringing into my local database. One with some structures in it and some properties, and the other one with some activity data from some assays. What I would like to do now is I would like to actually connect the 2 files and make a relationship. So actually I would like to combine and connect the activity data with my structures. So for that, I will go in my local schema, and I will go and edit schema. And what I will do, I will create actually a new relationship between these 2 tables. I will do a simple relationship, and because I have many assay data entry, I will choose a many-to-one relationship, so many assay data for one structure. And I would like to have this relationship from my activity data to my structures, and also to bind the data together, I need a unique identifier from each file, which will be recognized and used. So I know that my activity data is linked to my correct structure. So in this case, mol regno, it's actually my unique identifier in the 2 files. So I will choose that, and I'll click Finish, and I actually have the connection between the 2 files. Next thing what I want to do is actually to do this physical connection. So I will click on New Edge, which actually make the connection, and click Finish, and now I have actually a relationship between the 2 files I imported into my local database. So as I said in the presentation and the slides, I have the data displayed, as 2 individual grids, but basically because I did the connection between the 2 files, now I can start to display the data in a relationship. So I will go to my structure data tree, and I will create a new view. And that will be empty form view, which I can call it structure, for example. And right away, I'm in a blank space where I can use the widgets which are on my right side, and I can start bring the data in and display the way I want it. I would like to briefly point out that forms are actually I have three modes. One is the design mode where I can build the form. One is the query mode and one is the browse mode. And we'll touch on them in a second. So first of all, on my form, I would like to add a molecule pane. So I want to display actually the structures of my compounds available in my local database. And then I would like to add a table where I can display some properties. So I will go to my structure data tree, and from here I will import the compound ID and molecular weight and the formula. I'll bind that, and you see that right away I have a table with my three columns with the data in it. Then I can add single line text field where I can display some other data. So I can display this. But also, I just realized that I need some other properties which were not available in the file, and I can actually calculate with Instant JChem. So what I will do, I'll go into my grid view for structure form, and basically I will use the fields which are available here to add some properties. So I will use the new chemical terms feature, and basically I'll calculate some properties. So for example, I would like to add log P to my molecules. So I will click on log P, I'll do finish, and see that right away I have a new column with my log P's for all the structure calculated. I can also add, for example, a debug name. So I will scroll down and see other properties which are available. So I have the debug names as well. I can calculate, for example, rotatable bonds. I can add even more expressions like I can calculate the lipase figure of 5, for example. Or I can add DPSA for surface area. And last one, let's add the hydrogen bond acceptor as well. Okay, so now I have more fields, more properties available, which I can go back and display into my structure form. So for example, let's actually delete this widget and add another single line text. And in this case, let's actually add the debug name and display it on the form. Now if I go to my browse mode, I can see my data. And as you see, I have the structures, I have the debug name displayed, and also I have a table which displays all my other compounds, so I can quickly compare one to another. I can display my data on a different way, so I can actually add a new view. I can create a new form. So let's say multiple structures with activities. So basically now I want to bind the compounds with my activities and display it in the same form. In this form, I actually want to display multiple structure, not just a single structure. So in this case, I will use a molecule matrix, which I'll run into my structures. So now I have a matrix where I can see multiple structures at a time. Also, instead of displaying the properties using a table, I like to use a shape and display multiple properties like compound ID, maybe log P, molecular weight, formula, and maybe the rotatable bonds. So you see that the sheet is actually different from a table, so the display of the data is in row fashion, not in column fashion, and sometimes it's useful to have data displayed this way. Next, I will add a panel, and the beauty of a panel is that basically in the panel you can, I'm sorry, I want to add a tabbed panel instead. The beauty of the tab panel is that you can actually add different tabs, and you can multiple tabs, and you can switch from one tab to another very quickly. In this new tab, I will add a table. And in this case, I want to bring the activity data from my activities list. So I will bind the activity data with my structures. And in this case, I want to add the value, I want to add the units, I want to add the target and the type. I'll just do it again. So I will do the value, the units, the target, and the type. Run this, and let's add this to the tab. Going into browse mode, now I can see my data the way I want it to display. So I can see the multiple structures, I can see the properties, and also I can see the activities for each compound. So I can easily click on each of them, and I can look at the values and the units, the targets, and the type of assay which were run for each particular compound. So as you see, it's very simple to build a project, to make the connection, to build a form. So basically, it took just a few minutes to do that. So let's look at the query mode. So we saw the design mode, we saw the browser mode, but let's look at the query mode. In the query mode, you can double click on the structure panel, and Marvin, our chemistry editor, pops up, and you can use it to sketch basically fragment to do a substructure search and set the query. And also I want to point out that all these fields are actually queryable. So if you right click on each field, you have the operators you can pick from and set up the parameters you want to use in your particular query. For example, molecular weight as well. You can set it between 500 and 100, and then we can run the query. Okay, so let me actually clear this query. I'll do it again, something went wrong. let's try again. Let's see that we have some hits now. So go into browse mode, we see that we have 20 compounds which actually satisfy my query. I have a result. So now let's see how this project, which was built in Instant JChem desktop, can be seen in any web browser. And let's see the capabilities which are available there. So for that, we will open an internet browser. So in this case, I'm using Chrome, and I will point out to my local database and enter the Instant JChem web client. I'll enter my credential. I will log in. And I can see right away some points which I have available. And if I scroll down, I can see my structures and multiple structure and activities forms which I just built. So I can click on the structure one, and you see that the same view which I have in my Instant JChem desktop, it's available on my web browser. Looks very similar. It's a little bit lightweight here. You can easily switch from browse mode to search mode just by clicking this button here on the left side of your screen. Again, the structure panel, it's available for you to sketch any type of structure as a structure search or other search type you want to do. So on the right side, you can see that you have different search options, not just structure search, but also superstructure, similarity, duplicates, and so forth. Also, you can set up a search option for stereochemistry, double bonds, and so forth. And also, you have an advanced panel where you can add even more options. So in this case, let's apply this setting, and also ensure that all these fields are also variables. So if you right-click on each of them, you have a list of operators we can choose from and set up the parameters for the query you want to run. So let's run the search. And let's try it again. Let's do 100 and 100. Let's try to run the search again. Something went wrong. I want to apologize for this. Maybe what I can do, I can actually restart my server and try it again. So allow me to quickly do that. Let's connect again to the web client. And let's go again to my structure form. Let's try to do the query again. Since it doesn't want to work today, I really apologize for this glitch.
I'm sorry, maybe you should search between 100 and 500, not vice versa. Maybe that's the problem. The lower number should be first. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Thank you. Let's try that. Maybe it was my own mistake. Yes, you're right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So as you see, I have 118 records available due to my search. And as I mentioned, now you can export this temporary list. You can make it as a permanent list. So my compounds, for example, you can export the list. There are different varieties of forms which are available. So SDF, Marvin, Excel, and so forth, CSV, so you can export the list in different ways. And also you can make a working list where you can basically add and select, cherry pick some compounds and work with them later, do some filtering, and then add new compounds to the list and so forth. So as you see, it's very easy to use. It's very simple. It's very lightweight, and basically translate the same data, same forms you have built in your Instant JChem desktop into any web browser. I would like to go now and show you a little bit of IGC integration because I'm just looking at the time and time is flying by. There are so many capabilities we can show here, but unfortunately we're constrained by the time frame. So as I said, in the new versions of Instant JChem, we actually make it more flexible, and we integrated third-party application like Spotfire. Let me start my server manager and make the connection between Instant JChem and Spotfire. So now I can go and open Spotfire, and I can open and import data from Instant JChem directly. So I can see now that I have my data tree available. I have my project which I just built, and I want to bring in the data from my structures data tree. I see right away that I have a scatter plot displayed with my TPSA and molecular weight as my X and Y axis. I can use the display, the structure display, and actually I can point right now on the points on the graph, and I can actually see the structures and I can see the correlation. And also I can add new charts or scatter plots and so forth, and I can look at my data. Going back to my structure view, I just want to show you that in the design mode you have the capability to add some charts. So I would like to quickly create a scatter plot in Instant JChem. where I will display, for example, molecular weight and log P. Finish. And now if I minimize my Instant JChem and bring Spotfire side by side, I can see that the two tools actually connect to each other. So if I'm selecting something on Spotfire, the selection is actually made in my Instant JChem as well, and I can actually, look at the correlations and simultaneously in the same time. So this was actually all I had to say for today. I would like to thank you very much for your attention and for taking the time to look at the seminar. And before I give you the chance to ask some questions, I would like to point out that we have a lot of documentation about Instant JChem Suite in our product page. Also on our user guide, both for Instant JChem desktop and web client. There are also very well documented information about the development, how you can actually build script and do more advanced things in this suite. And also in our library we have a lot of presentation from ChemAxon and also from our clients, how they use Instant JChem Suite to look at the data, analyze it, query, reporting, and sharing. With that, I'd like to thank you very much again, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.